When I first heard Love is Blind, I was floored. It's something that you would expect a man to say, but she's saying it, and she's like, if I was the guy, her guy on the other end, I would have been like, you know what, you right. What was I thinking? Go ahead. What's up, everyone? This is Tatum. I'm back with another episode of Off the Wall. For those that's new to my channel, this is my segment where I discuss records in my vinyl collection, why they mean so much to me, and why I have them in my collection to begin with. So without further ado, as you can see already, today I'm going to be talking about Amy Winehouse, Frank. Frank album to me, man, first of all, just RP to the queen. The people that know me know how much just Amy Winehouse music just means to me. So first and foremost, Frank is an album that obviously I think it's extremely slept on, and I think that's obviously due to the impact of Back to Black, critically acclaimed, like records sold out the wazoo kind of thing. But this record, I think, it's strong as hell. It's raw. It showcases her writing ability for a young, like she was only late teens, early 20s, making this album, and the emotion and the stories and songs she was able to depict in this album is just second to none for me. It packs a hip hop feel to it, jazz feel to it, R&B feel to it. It's just everything. And this record was successful itself. Like, it was huge when it came out. I read somewhere that Amy Winehouse was like a secret to the record company. They didn't want anybody to know about her or anything like that, just because they knew what she could be. And, you know, I just wanted to take some time to talk about some of my favorite records on here and just give it its just due. And if you haven't checked it out, you should check it out. So I'm not going to waste your time. Let's get into it. This vinyl came with the half-speed mastering certificate. If anybody in my comments know anything about mastering and things of that nature, I just thought this was a cool, like, Easter egg that was inside the vinyl that I never got this before. As far as Frank came out in 2003. I didn't hear Frank probably till after Back to Black, to be truthfully honest with you. The first song I heard from the album was Take the Box, and I heard that because, you know, after Back to Black, we all just became mega Amy fans. And, you know, the good old LimeWire days, we would go through and, you know, just type Amy Winehouse, and Take the Box is one of the first records that I seen from her and the first record that I heard from this album. So, and I listened to that for years before I actually went back and really dove into the album. But like the way it starts off, right? You got the intro and then it goes into Stronger Than Me, right? And Stronger Than Me is like I think it's the song that made me an Amy Winehouse for life. When I heard it, I was like, oh yeah, I'm down with her forever. I never heard a woman have a song that was so like male bashing, but like uplifting at the same time. Like, she's like, you should be stronger than me. Like, she was taking the man route on the album. Well, on the song, she would say things like, I'm not gonna meet your mother anytime, I just want to grip your body over mine. Like, that's a thing that you would expect a man to say, but to hear her say it on the intro track to the album, I think this was her first single as well, is like, no, over this hip-hop beat, this jazz hip-hop beat, boom boom bap kind of thing. And it's like, I had to rewind it back, like, did she didn't just say that. Like, when she gets to the gay line, no way. Like, no way that is a woman saying this type of thing. And it was just so, it took me back. I never heard anything like that in my life. Send Me Flying and Cherry, I thought was great because throughout the album, you could tell it's a young person mindset. Like, You Sent Me Flying, it's like that crush at work that if you saw the documentary, I think they go into it a bit on there. Just that story itself, you sent me flying when you kicked me to the curb. And one of my favorite lines was on there, but I'll save it for the best lines. But that song itself, and then to go into Cherry, it's a song about her guitar. Once you get to the end of it, it's a bunch of songs on here that its metaphors and storytelling are just top notch. You Sent Me Flying, going into Cherry, I gotta know you now, we may never meet again. Just to have that, I'm pretty sure we all had a situation like that. We're seeing someone you never met before. Oh shit, you're beautiful. Oh shit, you're beautiful. Shit, I need to know you now, we may never meet again. Like, you know, just taking that chance and just seeing that from her point of view is just just amazing and dope. Fuck Me Pumps. You could tell a young person wrote that as well, but it's comical. It's great songwriting. It flows perfectly. The Fuck Me Pumps walking at the beginning of the record and just telling the story of that kind of girl or that kind of person. It's just when you walk through the bar just like a star, and like to sing in that cadence the whole time is just when I first heard Love Is Blind, I was floored. That because it's like a it's comedy in this as well. It's like the joke isn't told to the end, like to me, and it's so bold to tell the person that you're in a relationship with is that to tell the person that you're in a relationship with, sorry, I cheated on you. I was just lonely, but don't be mad because the person looks just like you, and I didn't say that name. Like I thought about you when I came. Like it's something that you expect a man to say, but she's saying it, and she's like, if I was her guy on the other end, I would have been like, you know what, you right. What was I thinking? Go ahead. She's just bold for that song in every category. Moody Moods for Love, dope cover, and There Is No Greater Love, dope cover. In My Bed, when she goes over the Nas Made You Look sample, and I heard that one. It was done around the same time because Salaam Remi, a main producer for both Nas and Amy, who connected those two, and they have the same like birthday. And she talks about Nas on Me and Mr. Jones. It's a deep history there. In My Bed, where she says like we did all this, but I'd rather just go home and be in my own bed. Like it's just so G that it's just nuts. Take the Box again. That's the first song I heard. The chords on that record is just amazing. It's so dark. The way it just starts of your neighbors were screaming. I don't have a key for downstairs, so I punched all the buzzers, hoping you wouldn't be there. Just to have the idea, like, man, that bra you bought me last Christmas, put that in the box. Frank's in there, and I don't care. Put it in the box. Just put it in the box. And speaking of that, I heard so many like stories of where Frank actually been. I heard the one rumor that it was the dog that's on the cover. That's why I thought when she says Frank's in there and I don't care, it's a tribute to Frank Sinatra. I read one thing that it was just a straightforward when she was being on the album as Frank, so it meant that if any Amy Winehouse fans out there that could let me know what's the real meaning behind Frank of one of those three, I surely appreciate it. I'm a big fan of October Song. A lot of people sleep on that record, but I'm a huge advocate for October Song. It just sounds good. I love Amy Winehouse on those acoustic records, and when her voice can just shine, because I believe Amy Winehouse has one of the greatest voices I ever heard in my life. It cuts through on those acoustic records where she's just the driving force of it. What is about men, you could tell it's a dark record. She even talks about like her mom and dad in that record. One of the things that kind of just troubled her whole life and career, just the wanting to be loved by a man, and songs like that, I hate to say it, with her like pot of gold, you know what I mean? Help Yourself is probably my favorite beat on the album. And then the outro with Amy, the hidden tracks, Mr. Magic and Brother. The album is just perfect to me. Let me get into my best songs. Take the Box, You Send Me Flying. I heard Love Is Blind. I gotta put that in there. Worst song, Amy. That's a cop out, but that's what it is. Best line, I'll just go with the whole third verse of You Send Me Flying. She says, his message was brutal, but delivery was kind. Maybe if I get this down, I'll get it off my mind. And it serves to condition me and smoothen out my kinks. Yeah, despite my frustration about the way that he thinks. And I knew the truth when it came, it would be to that effect. At least you attracted me, which I did not expect. Didn't think you would get my number down as such, but I never hated myself for my age so much. And you could that line the poetry in that line is in that verse is just disgustingly good. And you can hear where she is mentally. It's just dope. Let's wrap this shit up. In closing, when it comes to Amy Winehouse, Frank, like I said, this whole video, this album is just great. It's slept on. It's a crown jewel to me. I think you should, if you love Back to Black and never heard Frank, I'm ashamed of you. But this album is the genesis of that. You can hear the rawness in it. You can hear the jazz influence. Like, you know what they say, the first album is the accumulation of what you've been going through your whole life. It's that sound that you wanted to make, you know what I mean? You've been making that album your whole life. In this album, it shows her influences and things like that. I think in the thank you, she was thanking like Tina Marie and Stevie Wonder and some jazz legends and things of that nature. And just to show what was her inspiration growing up and things of that nature. And this album is just so great for a young artist to create and write, especially to write. It's very to get those thoughts out and verbally communicate them so properly and well, not properly, but communicate them the way that she did on here. It deserves acknowledgement, you know? So I'm glad I have this in my record collection. If you're watching this and never listened to Frank, I advise you to go back and listen to it. It's so great. And that's it, man. Let me know what's some of your favorite records on here. What's your top 3 records on Frank? Let me know in the comments. And what's your ranking between the two, Back to Black and Frank? Let me know in the comments as well. But I guess it's time to put this record back on my wall. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Tatum. Peace.